if we could meet all these people on this side of the planet, maybe in our
instead of over there.
hometown. And 3 months later, the meetup group showed up. I took it over on Meetup, and we had 611 new friends who all had some inkling of law of attraction. That's how quick it can happen. And now the group is over 1,600 members.
Wow, that's amazing.
Law of attraction.
Yeah, they just keep showing up.
And we're just starting that. I think you met also Zalika, and you met my friend Julia here, and now you know Lori. So it's just happening, and it changes. It changes when you can have good conversations. It raises your vibration.
Yeah, well, it's a reflection of the vibration you've been raising. So you can pat yourself on the back. Reach around. Good job, Deb.
You did that.
I did do that, and that's what she says, too. I did that.
Yeah.
Yes. So very interesting. I really like this. Does anybody in the audience have any questions?
Yeah, we actually have an audience.
Well, I was kind of thinking about when you guys were talking about it. It's not unlike a baby crying. The baby cries. You want to come up there? Up with you?
Or somewhere to a microphone.
Talk here.
So it's kind of like when your baby cries and you're focused on that crying baby and you're getting frustrated and it's getting worse and you can't get him to settle down. The more you try, the more he cries, and the more he cries and the more you try, and you get more frustrated. And it sort of sends you down that spiral, downward spiral. And I always, with my first child, I really didn't know a lot. I hadn't been around a lot of kids, so I would sit there and I would just hold him and just, cry with him by the end, because I'm like, I just don't know what to do. And I remember Patrick walking in, my husband, and he walked in and he looked at me sitting on the couch holding the baby. We're both crying, and he's like, "Put that baby down." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Put that baby down. You need to put that baby down. Why are you sitting there holding him, and he's crying and you're crying and you're getting more upset and he's getting more." He said, "Go put that baby down." I said, "But he'll cry." He said, yeah, and so I did. Yeah, but I did. I went and I put him down, and you know what? By golly, that little lovey boy of mine calmed right the heck down.
Maybe he was exhausted after crying for so long.
I know, and I just had
four
to let
kids.
it go.
I know what that's like.
And that first one really was a doozy.
That was really brilliant. So you put him down, and you make a really good point, Julia. And your expectation changed. As you said, I had to let it go. And the moment you let it go, he stopped picking up the energy and he could relax. That's right. Now, you could have continued holding him,
crying,
and let it go, and he would have relaxed also.
It's sort of like grandma's.
But you didn't know any more than that.
Right.
I didn't know. I had the same experience.
So true.
And
When
I
you're
had
a
a
first-time
swing.
mom and you're holding the baby and it's crying, and grandma comes into the room and says,
Yes.
"Let me help you," because the grandma
And
knows
they
everything's
instantly
all-
stop
and
crying.
The baby stops
Yeah,
crying.
yeah.
It's not the mom. It's just the energy.
It is. It's funny.
You don't know.
We had an experience that reminds me real quick.
Yeah.
That was
story.
good, Julia.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. Thanks.
We were out at a dog park when our
Oh, yeah.
wonderful dog Roxy was still alive a few years back, and it's a huge place, just acres of dogs, just running around and their owners. And we were walking around the perimeter, and I noticed that there was this Burmese mountain dog, a gorgeous dog, but they're very fearful, and it was being attacked by another dog. Just kind of jumped on, not hurt so much, but just, and the owner didn't know what to do, was just standing there watching. And we kind of watched this. They came all the way around, and out of the corner of my eye, I see this dog running for us. Like, it's 100 yards away, and it's coming full tilt
The one
toward
that had
this.
been
That was being
attacked.
attacked, and it plastered itself against my leg.
Leaned right into
But
Kevin.
we were in a totally peaceful place. We were having a great time with our dog, and we understand how energy and animals work, right? You provide the pack leader role, and we were sort of in that role. And this dog just instinctively found the energy field that was in the area. Obviously, it wasn't its owner. And
calm
it just,
one.
even though we know how the stuff works, it was one heck of a demonstration.
It really was.
And great feedback to say, hey, guess what, Kevin? You're in a pretty good state of mind right now.
Right.
Because this dog just reflected it.
Isn't that weird? I had an animal thing happen to me, too, that was really shocking. My friend has chihuahuas, and this one had a huge growth on its neck, and he was dying. And she had him to tons of vets, and they'd have to muzzle him because he'd be biting and snapping and just all freaking out. And I went over there one day to do something else, and I didn't know that dog was a snapper and a biter. And I do Reiki. And that dog came up to me, and I said to her, do you want me to do Reiki on him? Because he was in a lot of pain. And she said, oh, but he's not going to let you touch him. And I put my hand down, and he put that lump right in my hand.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
He knew.
Wow.
He knew, and he wouldn't let me leave. And I just stood there, and I kept putting that down, and I cleansed his crown chakra, and he just stood there for the longest time. And every time I'd take my hand up, he'd come and nudge me that he went. So animals do know.
Yeah, they're such a wonderful reflection of the state that the human is
Great
in.
teachers.
Their energy.
Yes.
Everything is based on energy. Like my dog Dylan, if you come in and he knows you, he'll bark at you for a couple minutes, but when he sees our interaction, he's fine. He won't a couple seconds. But if somebody comes to the door that I don't know and I'm holding his leash, he knows. He knows that energy. So anybody that comes to that door that he doesn't like, I keep them at bay.
It's all about energy.
The first time.
He mauled you?
Yeah, he was hugging.
He loved her.
In a good way, you mean.
Oh,
Yes.
loving Maul.
He's a full-size poodle.
He's a standard.
Oh, yeah.
And he stood right up, and he was hugging me, and I'm like, Deb, is this normal?
Yeah, he never even barked at you.
No.
Yeah, it's funny how
great
they
stuff.
know. So I'm going to take a little break and talk about Strength from Within Training right now, who's our sponsor spotlight this evening. And I've been a coach since 2009, and probably way long before that, but that's when I got trained. And I kept going in my training, and now I'm doing Law of Attraction training. So I'm like you. I keep going and learning. And I rebranded this year, which was one of the things I wanted to accomplish. The name of my old company was Sky's the Limit, and then I realized it wasn't. And so I rebranded to Strength from Within, and the name and my website is strengthfromwithin.training. So, and it's for whatever you need. It's not just one thing, but I do specialize in helping divorced women. That's my really strong suit. And one of my friends said, you should be a marriage coach. And I looked in my jewelry box and saw 3 wedding rings, and I thought, nah.
She knows what she doesn't want.
Good
Let's put it
divorce
this way.
coach. Yes. I'll stick with divorce because I really believe that you have to have coping skills to make it through divorces.
No, what we've learned, Kevin. Oh, continue on.
No, go on. What were you going to
What
say?
we've learned is that neither one of us are responsible for making the other one happy. I mean, this is just the greatest,
Biggest
most
lesson.
beautiful thing in a relationship, that I'm not responsible for his happiness or vice versa.
But you are responsible for your own.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Boy, spouses that don't understand that don't like to hear that.
No, well, we're in a society of blame. You know, you get to that, and that's on the emotional scale. You're down at the bottom. You have to move up to get out of that powerless, fearful state. And blame is one of the notches on the scale up, but people just stop there.
Oh, so many people stop there. Because we don't like to take responsibility for our own.
Well, there's a lot of societal
Whatever.
criticism
That's
for
right.
making a, quote, mistake. And so we do anything
right.
we can to get out from
It
underneath
wasn't me. It wasn't my fault.
Because we get
Right.
punished for it. Yeah.
Right.
We're so screwed up.
What does Abraham say about that? About mistakes?
There's no such thing.
Yeah, that's what I love.
No
Yeah,
such
there
thing
are
as
no such
mistakes.
thing.
There's only clarifying moments.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's
so true.
exactly right. Yes.
Yeah.
And so it made me feel better about my life. Yes.
Good.
So, and that's what it's all about. It's about understanding. And that's, I agree so much with both of you. And it's the way that I coach too. It's helping people go within and examine themselves and see. You know, I have a friend that made us write down all our bad qualities and all our good qualities. And then he said, now cross out all your bad qualities because you didn't make it this far because of those. You made it this far because of your good ones. And all those don't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And I used to feel really bad about procrastinating. I don't anymore. I still get it done. It's just very nick of time.
But you get it done.
But
That's
it's
all that
okay.
matters.
That's how I am, right? And what else? Oh, so many things. And so the thing is, you have to keep learning. I think you have to keep stretching yourself and go by how you feel. And so many of us get out of touch with how we feel because we are taught to squelch it.
Yep. That's
For
exactly
sure.
it.
My favorite way to squelch all of my emotions was through eating. That was just so comforting for me. I mean, that, and it wasn't until, the end of the second divorce that I realized I could tap into my own inner guidance. The first time I remember not going to a bag of cookies over an emotion, I actually looked at myself looking at those bags of cookies and thought, that's not me, that's the old me. And I had the awareness like that was who I used to be. Now I'm happy to understand.
And when you have moments of clarity like that, it's so empowering if you see it that way. But the thing is, you have to see each moment for what it is. And signs, the world is full of signs that are given, and we just kind of brush over them, but they're there. We just, in hindsight, it's always 20/20. I hate that saying because that means that we weren't aware while we were going through it.
But you were as aware as you could be in the moment, and the judging of it in the past then messes up the future. You got to be okay with now. Everything is okay now.
Right.
You're good now. And you did the best you could back then with the awareness that you had.
Always the best you could. Because
Right.
You
that's
can't
all
do
we
any better.
can do. When we do the best we could, we make decisions on what we know at the time. Knowledge is one thing, but wisdom is what you do with that knowledge. And this is why it's always fun to keep expanding and wanting to understand more and learn more. We're always searching for even more and more.
So why do you think that I ask this question to almost all my guests, and someday I'm going to get an answer that satisfies me.
All right,
Why are you ready? Put your Superman shirt on.
the seatbelt on.
Why is it that some people search, call it truth, call it meaning, call it whatever you want? Why is it that some people search and some people don't?
I think everyone's searching for something, but the question is, are you searching from a place of lack or a place of curiosity?
He answered it with a question.
Yes.
It's the coach in me. I'm
I
sorry.
have to write that down.
You can always listen to the show again.
Lack or curiosity. And what's the difference, Kevin?
The emotion.
Are you searching for a place of lack, which is me?
Which is a low vibration, or are you searching
Yeah,
for a
I
place
need
of
it. I have
curiosity?
to have it. I don't have it.
Yeah.
Or a place of curiosity, which Abraham always reminds us. Up in the high frequency areas, eagerness, excitement, passion, curiosity. That's the difference.
So some people, I'll reword it. Some people are content to stay on that resentment level, on that.
They're not.
They don't know any
They're not
different.
content at that level. They just don't know how to get out of it.
They're stuck in a rut, a vibrational rut.
Yeah. They don't know that the signal they've been sending out is what's being reflected back in the circumstances.
So they're just comfortable there?
No,
No,
they
this
don't
is
know any better. They don't know that it's the thoughts they continue to think are creating the circumstances they're living. And then they look at the circumstances and they think thoughts that feel bad, and then they send out more thoughts, which then create more circumstances.
So how do you get them out of that? That's a vicious circle. That's like a catch-22.
It is. Well, sometimes you got to shake them up a little bit, and sometimes they got to hit a wall, hit a tree.
Usually
as
the
Abraham
universe
likes
will
to
shake
say.
them up with an experience.
Yeah,
that's
it'll
painful.
happen sooner or later. It was a brain tumor for me, and has
Yeah.
been many other little crashes along the way. But each time builds another level of awareness that, oh, that really hurt. Man, there's got to be a better way, and then it gets you finally out of the spin cycle, at least for a little bit, and you can get a moment of clarity. And the moment of clarity, now you have hope, at least in that moment, and you can move to the next level.
And hopefully you'll stay there.
Well, you can't go back. You can't
What if you do go
unlearn.
back?
You can't unlearn what you know. You can't unexpand.
It's
You
always
can
there to
repeat
catch
You
things.
can't unexpand.
It's not possible.
Julia?
I'm sorry.
No, but you have to talk in the microphone.
Come on into
Come
the
on
microphone.
down.
Come on over.
So, one of my favorite things that Abraham talks about is that the work is never done. So you can't get it wrong, and it's never done, which means the journey is the process. The journey is the process,
Right.
and expanding is the goal. And if that's the goal and it's never done, and you can't do it wrong, then what are you worried about?
Have fun in the moment.
You know, it's like you're not content